within contemporary society, there is a cause among people, um, or rather, an internal part of them that desires to not see the merit in arguments, and so it looks to effectively find ways of just straw manning whatever you're saying. And one of the ways it does this best is by putting up goalposts. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to show this person a video about from Jimmy Dore, who is a known liberal speaker, and he was giving grievances that he had with Obama. The person was saying they didn't want to hear it because of his profanity that he was giving out while he was talking about him. And so they used this as their reason for not wanting to watch it. But I had an encounter yesterday where I was, heard, and the person said, "I get what you're saying, but there's no room for that kind of language." This wasn't a workplace or anything. This is just, outside of that. You would think, in an area where you can just talk as you wish. But it brought me to why I don't swear in videos, at least when I'm giving off an argument or some critique of something. And the primary reason is that I know people are so prone to looking for anything and everything to push their own narrative, that I simply won't let it be part of that game. For example, if I were to go and do, let's say, videos where I talked about how people look, the first thing someone would ask is, well, how do you look? Um, and so, even as someone who likes to debate the merit of what someone is saying, you still have people who will say something about how you look. Can't change anything about it. But it's really sad because it means that you are effectively in a no-win situation, where if you do, you know, refuse to show yourself, someone says that discredits your argument because you're afraid to, let us know who you are. If you do show yourself, then it's time to mock how you look and go, ha. So ultimately, it's just you fighting against the machine that is geared towards seeing you fail or otherwise not make it. And ultimately, it becomes a continued struggle where you have to fight people who, you know, don't want to believe that there's this part of you that wants to be very much more expressive than you actually are. Because I would love to just air it all out, but the issue with doing that is it fits narratives that I don't really want to legitimize in doing so. And ultimately, when I end up speaking about a lot of these issues, I've actually seen people who have said, "I don't care if, well, not verbatim, but they basically make the it known that they don't care if something is ruining the lives of thousands, of millions, of anybody, as long as the person who's saying it is swearing. That as long as they hear you saying bad words, no matter how old they are, or how old you are, it's not okay. That is what they're going to focus on. That is what they're going to draw attention to. The merit of my argument was not debated by the person or argued against. They simply became so upset because bad words were used. You can have someone effectively destroy your very being, and if you go into a rant about it and you use bad words, it's time to zero in on what he was saying. And it's really weird because I've noticed that while I'm sure there are individuals who don't curse that would like the luxury of being able to hear something without swearing, many of the people who have, because I've known them for long periods of time, called this out are hypocrites, because you can hear them in their own frustrations, vent with profanity and other um, adjectives. And I don't chide them for doing that. I understand that life is a very frustrating and more often than not unenjoyable task. If you're a working class person, you spend 8 hours a day doing something miserable or something that has some part of it that puts you in a bad state of mind. You come home to probably being underappreciated by the people around you, and you do this for however many years until you croak. Now, sure, you'll get something decent thrown in here or there, but the cold hard, truth is that um, there is not enough there, to just make every or most of it seem like it's worth it. Day to day, basically. That vacation you're going to get that's 3 or 4 days, It won't be as long as the 300 or 400 days you have to spend to be able to finance that. And someone, will go through that event and they'll become mad and they'll swear. And when they swear, I don't want someone to say to them, you know, don't say those bad words because, that's gonna, you can't say that around me. I think that's dumb. And really, it goes when I hear it in the political stuff, I always think about this idea of style of versus substance. So we can have a person who is so upset with all the screwed up things done by the American government, and they can sit here and talk about it for like 2 hours, and they'll curse a couple of times because just the thought thinking of it makes them mad, makes their blood boil, and that'll get completely overlooked by these pundits and some other people who are so choicy in their words, who will say, "Oh no, we don't want to hear the bad words," but then if they see someone who is giving nothing but platitudes, but he's talking with such sophistication and wondrous design, they'll suddenly be ready to hear it. They'll listen to it. They'll tolerate it. They won't say, "Hey, you're not addressing what's actually going on. You're not talking about what is the main thing that's conflicting all of us." So I just wanted to address this, what I feel is, a controversy that's not warranted. People swear, and I have no problem with them doing that because I understand life is a miserable experience that more often than not is going to get you angry to the point of saying something somebody else is not going to like. Um, it's bad enough we're told to just sit there and accept it in a lot of cases, but now you can't express yourself verbally either. I just think it's ridiculous. Um, but based off the lack of interaction here, I'm gonna close it out. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.